Hello, boxing fam, and welcome back to another prediction video. Before I get into the content, I would just ask the usual that you would share, like, hit the bell notification, and most importantly, if you're watching, you might as well subscribe. You're just pressing a button and it would help this channel out tremendously. I really do appreciate you all. The fight I'll be covering in this video comes by way of request, and it is from my guy, Brandon Lamb. And I thank you once again for your requests and for participating in the channel. So the fight that he wanted me to cover, and let me just say this first, hopefully we'll get this fight soon and it will no longer be a fantasy fight, but it will be a reality fight. So the fight he wanted me to cover is Teofimo Lopez versus Tank Davis. And they are both at a great place in their careers, so this fight would only make sense. Both of these guys have tremendous power, and both of these guys are just amazing. Despite Teofimo having one loss on his record, which for some reason is such a big deal, but I'm a broken record on that. But I often think about Teo's fight with Kambosos, and I like Kambosos, not to discredit him or anything like that, because it was a legitimate win. But I do wonder how Teofimo actually lost that fight. I can't believe that he lost that fight. He was so much better than that. I feel that on some level it was a fluke, but it's boxing. Things happen, and styles makes fights. Teofimo looked tremendous in his last fight against Josh Taylor. That's another fight I called wrong. I thought Taylor was going to win that fight. I thought he was too big, too fast, and too powerful. But Teofimo truly showed his greatness in that fight and reminded us who he is. He's the takeover, and he's living up to that name. Now, moving on to Tank Davis. He has tremendous power, tremendous timing, a good jab, and he's just extremely dangerous in there. I feel that he gets a lot of undeserved criticism because he has been in there with some good fighters. He took the fight with Ryan Garcia, and he won that fight in impressive fashion. So sometimes I wonder what fans want. Of course, I would like to see him in there with the likes of Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney, Teofimo, of course. And I see a fabulous four situation brewing here. I really do. But Teofimo would have to show up in shape and on top of his game, and he would have to be mentally sharp. He couldn't fight emotionally against Tank Davis because Tank Davis is too accurate and too much of a sharpshooter. So if Teofimo gets overzealous, overconfident, then he could really catch one, and it could be an early night. Now, Teofimo is a dog in there. He gets to work early, and he just gets down to business. But he would have to fight a little more reserved and a little more cautiously and pick his shots a little better, because he definitely has some firepower coming back at him. One advantage for Tank, and I'm not trying to put him in Floyd's shadow, but he seemed to learn a lot from Floyd. He has a lot of Floyd's ways in there, and he seems to have Floyd's mentality. He's very calculating, disciplined, and he knows when to strike. And Tank is also great at making adjustments, and the best fighters are the fighters who makes the adjustments. Now, don't get me wrong, Teofimo is a great counterpuncher himself, but between the two, Tank is the better counterpuncher. Something else that Teo has in his favor is, I feel that he's been more tested, he's faced more adversity, and he's just more seasoned than Tank at this point. Teofimo knows what it's like to take a big loss and to bounce back. And for all my complaints about inactive fighters, I must say that both fighters have been fairly active. Teofimo a little more active and busier. So, in consideration of everything that I mentioned, if Teofimo can fight the perfect fight, has the perfect game plan, and can come in focused, I'm going to give him the edge, and I say he wins a unanimous decision. Those are my thoughts. Please let me know what you think. I'll see you soon.